Pokemon fans from across Long Island and the tri-state area gathered by the hundreds at the LI TCG show's Chu Brew event at the Great South Bay Brewery in Bayshore, New York. Signing autographs was Matthew Sussman, the artist who voiced Meowth.
I'm the original voice of Meowth in the English language version of Pokémon. And then I also voiced the character of Slowking in the Pokémon 2000 film.
What was your first reaction to Pokémon?
My first reaction when I saw it was like, okay, this is nuts. I had no idea. It was brand new, wasn't out in the States yet, so we were like, okay, voiceover, what do you got? And then I'm like, oh, and they're describing this whole world of these little creatures, and I mean, they're just trying to get us to understand the basic concept of it. And I didn't know anything, but I was like, I'm trying out for different parts, whatever, trainers and all this stuff. And then they show me this picture of this guy, and I read this description of what he gets up to, and he's such a lunatic, and he's always getting in trouble and getting picked on, and he thinks he's a tough guy and everything. So I just had this crazy idea of he thinks he's a little gangster, but he's actually a little twerp. And I just came up with a nutty voice, and I tried it out, and they were like, that's the one. And that's how history was made.
We were on the other end we were on the marketing end of Pokemon, so it was interesting to watch this thing just balloon. And at what point in the run did you realize that you were onto something? Was it a few months in, a year in?
A few months in. I went away for a little while. I don't remember exactly, but when I came back at the end of the summer or something, every store, everywhere I looked, Pokemon merchandise in the windows, Pokemon posters in the windows. Everywhere I went, kids were and then people started to find out I was doing it, and I'd get phone calls from parents, friends of mine, who said, my son or daughter won't go to bed unless you do the voice for them and say goodnight, because they don't believe that I know Meowth. And I'd be like, oh my God, this is my moment as a Beatle, right? And kids, I met kids at schools and stuff, and they would not want to let me leave the classroom. They would come running after me down the hall. It was nuts. But it did all happen in that first year, almost immediately.
What would Meowth say to a kid 99?
Meowth would generally say something like,
okay, Charlie, Meowth says now go to bed and listen to your parents, okay? And that's right.
So now fast forward to me, our target audience was our kids 6 to 11, right? So Pokemon fans are always 6 to 11 in my head. And here we are at a brewery. Gotta be 21 and older.
Right.
So all these years later, you're reliving this madness. How does it feel to be in a place like this?
Well, it's a huge amount of fun. It's fantastic to meet people of all ages, from their young kids now who are watching it, their parents are introducing them to it, so there's young kids, all the way to the people in their 30s and even 40 who were the age group watching it when it was first on, and they're thanking us, me and my friends, my other co-actors and stuff, for the joy and pleasure that we brought to them growing up. And it's I have to be honest with you, not only is it fun, it's also it's quite kind of almost moving and sometimes quite moving to meet people where you really say, I really made a difference in your life. I'm like, we just did this to be actors and have fun and and all that kind of thing, and be part of something that was enjoyable as performers. But then you realize, oh, this thing 25 years later, people are so enthusiastic, it's beyond belief. I had to tell you honestly. I've only been doing conventions, since January of this year, so just 7 months. And in that 7 months, the amount of people I've met, guy today made this for me. He didn't even want it autographed. He just wanted to give me a gift of this art that he made. I meet kids who make art. I meet adults who make art. They give you gifts. It's like, wow. That's all I can say is wow.
Well, congratulations and thank you for your time.
Thank you, man. Great to see you.